this evening, and possibly the world's first ever stand-up comedy routine about Morris dancing, the wonderful Chris Rose!
Thank you, John. Good evening, you lovely people.
Good evening.
Hi, Ed. Well, I'm a little bit excited tonight because John, the MC, just told me that he pulled me off after 5 minutes. Best offer I've had all week. Only offer I've had all week. So what have I been doing? I've learned to multitask. Not just for women, I can do it too. I managed to get my teenage son, Matt, to clear his bedroom completely while simultaneously growing this beard. But I think take Matt's advice. Don't listen to what your parents tell you. They tell you shit, they give you advice you just don't need. When I told my dad I was going to do stand-up, he said, "You can't be serious." I said, "I know that, Dad. It's the first thing they teach you." I am perhaps the first person ever to attempt some Morris stand-up. I only have 2 Morris jokes. And they've got the same punchline. Says it at a time. Joke 1. What do you get if you combine Cotswold, Northwest, Border and Molly? Answer, Jameson Wooders. Joke 2. Why would you never want to combine?
Same old,
It's testing his speed. Out in the Morris world, there's a lot of teams out there really struggling. Not the teams here this week, but lots of teams really struggling. And as we always say, it's the 95% of teams that give the rest of us a bad name. You know the teams I mean. And I think we can help them. I've got a couple of ideas for helping make Morris a bit more mainstream. The first of those, lots of teams have got aged members, no young people, running short of numbers. There are 4,000 keen young people in Calais at this moment. They are desperate to come here. We should be doing workshops in the jungle too now. What are we going to lose? These people desperately come in. If they had Morris dancing experience, they pass the citizenship in 1. The first question is, are you a Morris dancer? Yes, you're in. Otherwise, the whole other questions. Now, they love to be here. They get a bit confusing. You get lots of them in the cities. It's harder out in the shires. You know, sort of, where the fuck is Wokingham? But they'll get used to it. So we could have loads more dancers. The second idea I've got is start outing politicians. It worked for cannabis. First of all, they just denied it, and then they said, well, I tried it, but I didn't inhale. And now they're starting to realise it gives them a bit of street credibility, and they're admitting to it. And they'll deny it anyway, so it doesn't have to be real. You know, George Osborne at university, he was in some longsword team. Yeah, of course he was. And I think, after a while, it would just become popular that they'd want to admit to it, which may cause us a problem, but at least we'd have moved things along. And I think there's already politicians in some teams. I know second-rate border teams that have 6-8 people at every practice, and when they go to a third-rate festival, there's 28 of them. They all turn up in kit. They could be anyone, couldn't they? They don't know the figures, so they fit in perfectly. I'm sure half the cabinet are in some of those border teams. And thinking about politics and the different parties, I think if you imagine the political spectrum as one big Morris procession, at the front you've got the Tories, a big, bold Northwest team, all marching loudly, full of their own self-importance, in the same direction. Half of them in time with the music, the other side half a beat behind in time with the bass drum. I'm all wondering which direction they're going and how far right they're going to go. The Labour Party. They're like Hammersmith in a procession. They're just all over the place. Sometimes they're right, sometimes in front, sometimes behind. No one knows where they go, no one knows who's leading. That's the Labour Party. The SNP, I think that's like 10 young rapper teams all at once. Just come down from the borders, slick, they know what they're doing, they're going to cause mayhem, and we don't know quite what any of it means. And then, finally, the Lib Dems. Just an elderly Cotswold team that's now down to being just a jig team. There's just 2 of them. And they could have entered the doubles competition and placed last there as well. Okay, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of advice for everyone, Morris dancer or not. I recently got a new phone, and it cost me nothing at the time. The old phone, knackered, broken screen, went into car phone warehouse, they gave me this shiny new phone, no money passed hands. I know there's a contract and all that, but it felt great. Then they wanted to sting me 32 quid for a protective screen and case. I thought, no, I'll get it on eBay for a £5. And then I thought, yeah, but what if I walk out and drop it now on a shiny new phone? And it's a little bit like unplanned sex. Do you have protection or rely on the morning after? And that got me thinking, maybe I could just use a condom. And I'm here to tell you that it works. Saviour, almost 32 quid, 31 quid you can save. They don't come pre-stretched, so I washed out the used one. No, I didn't really. The lubrication helped get it on, so... do you want to touch it? No, of course you don't want to touch it, so it won't get nicked. Screen protected, won't get nicked, all for a quid. I'll give yourselves. Good night.